The following program is a Sabry entertainment production.
It's now time for the Sabry Entertainment Top 13 list.
What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? It's Ryan, the Sexy Beast. I have not made a video in a long time. I currently live where the internet is not the fastest, and so making videos hasn't been fun for me. It's just been forever upload time. But I figured I'd try one out. Plus, I got a new job and a new sleeping schedule, so it's kind of been rough adjusting to this and waking up and whatever. I was watching the basis for this list here, which I've changed it from top 10 to top 13, so I will be doing top 13 lists from now on. I was watching MTV Classic the other day, which, if you don't know, MTV launched as a new channel. It used to be VH1 Classic, and they were showing some of their old TV shows. So I figured I would do a list of my top 13 favorite MTV shows of all time. Again, this is subjective. This is my list. Obviously, you guys may not agree. If you know of any shows that you would put in your top 13, any of the shows that I missed, let me know. These are the top 13 that I personally enjoyed watching when I watched MTV back in the day. You'll notice a theme that most of these were in the early 2000s and late 1990s. So here we go. Top 13 list. Number 13 on our list, we are going with Room Raiders. If you did not, this show aired from about 3 seasons, 2004 to 2006. If you don't know what Room Raiders was, basically it was like a dating show. One person raided the rooms of 3 other people. They didn't see any pictures, and they had to pick who they wanted to go on a date with based solely on their rooms. When I was a teenager, this was a fun show to watch. I don't know why I liked it so much. I did. I heavily enjoyed watching this show. It was funny. It could have been scripted, like MTV shows are mostly scripted, but it was just funny to see what these people had in their rooms and who they would pick to be what they wanted to see just based on the room. It was pretty interesting. We're going to move right along here to number 12, which is MTV Made. It aired from 2002 to the last episode airing in 2013. I don't think they made another one since. Basically, this show took high school kids and helped them become something else. I remember there was one where the guy wanted to become a pro wrestler, and he was gay, and he was made fun of a lot, and so he wanted to be made to a pro wrestler. There was, I want to be made to the prom queen, I want to be a rock star, I want to be a motocross rider. And there was all stuff that was way out of their comfort zone. Stuff that no one thought they would do. Most of the time they succeeded. They would bring in like celebrity coaches and well-known people in that field to help them and coach them along. It was a fun show. It was cool to see people get help and become something else and build their confidence up. It was really, really cool. It was one of those docu-series that MTV had back in the day, which was really, really fun. Number 11, we're moving right along to number 11, which was Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, which aired from 2009 to 2015. It followed the adventures of Rob Dyrdek as he opened up his fantasy factory, his cousin Drama, Big Black, his cousin the Big Cat, Chanel. It was a fun show. It was just always insane, the stuff they were doing on that show. Always something crazy, something different, something off the wall. So this show was really funny. I'm sure most of you guys have probably seen this show or have heard of this show at least. This show was really cool. It was one of my favorite shows. I still watch it when the show reruns today. So Fantasy Factory is really cool. It was a really, really fun show to watch. Rob Dyrdek's a funny guy, and his show Ridiculousness is also good. Not have it on this list, but Ridiculousness is also a pretty cool show. We're moving right along here. We're to the top 10 now. Number 10, we're going with Punk'd, which aired from 2003 to 2007, and then it was redone in 2012 for a season. I'm majority going to talk about the original with Ashton Kutcher. If you don't know what punked is, basically Ashton Kutcher would prank celebrities. Now, there's been prank shows on TV before, but I think this was like the first one to really get celebrities. He always had elaborate ways of pranking people. He pranked everyone from wrestlers to singers to musicians to actors to anyone. No one was off limits for this show. The craziness that went on during this show with the stuff they would do to these celebrities was insane. But 2012 they redid it. They had a special celebrity guest every week, I guess. Didn't really go over as well as the original. It just wasn't as good. But Punk'd, the original Punk'd, was really cool. I have fond memories of that show. It was I think it really brought back the prank show. It was around like the early days of television, and it kind of faded away, but Punk'd really brought that back in the mainstream, and now there's pranks on YouTube, so I think Punk'd was really like the catalyst, the beginning of the prank genre of stuff. Number 9, we're going with, it used to be called the Real World Road Rules Challenge, now it's just called The Challenge. It originally aired in 1998, and it is still currently airing. They just finished their last season. Basically what this show is, it takes people who have been on the Real World, the Road Rules, and now they have Are You the One, which is a new show, put them in a house together. Usually they split them up into teams. Sometimes it's teams of like 8, 10. Sometimes you're on teams of 2. Sometimes you're by yourself. And basically you complete physical and mental challenges for a chance to win money. Money's on the line, $250,000, $400,000, something like that. They have a different prize every time. But this show, I used to be in love with it when I was younger, just for the physicality of it. But now, watching it's very cool. The Challenge is a really cool show. I watch it more for the physical aspects of it now. The in-house stuff I don't care about, but for the physical aspects of it, it is really cool. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Hulu has most of the seasons. If you want to check out this show, it's really cool. If you've never seen it, it's pretty fun. The stuff that these guys have to go through, it's pretty cool. So I'd check it out if you've not seen this show. But yeah, The Challenge, 2 thumbs up from me. We're going to number 8. This is a show that I don't know if a lot of people are going to remember. It was called Say What? Karaoke. It aired from 1998 to 2003. Mostly this show, I think, aired during their spring breakout shows that they have. But it was basically a karaoke show. You take 3 or 4 guys. I think it was 3. They'd sing songs. They'd have to spin a wheel and sing it. It was just a karaoke show. When I was a kid, it was fun. They always did like the same songs all the time. I remember they always did Jay-Z's Big Pimpin'. Instead of NYC, they would always say Big Pimpin' Up and then MTV, which was all the time. But yeah, I remember the show mostly aired during the spring break episodes of MTV when they had their spring break from like Florida or Palm Beach or Mexico or wherever. But yeah, I don't know why I remember the show so much. I mean, it's karaoke, man. I'm a karaoke fan. I love it. I suck at it, but I love it. Moving right to the only show that's really a newer show, and that is number 7, Catfish, which is aired from 2012 to the new season's airing now. If you don't know what Catfish is, basically it follows Neve Schulman and his friend Max, and they help people who are in online relationships with people who they're not sure, and they're on online relationships basically. And they go to help bring them together and find out if they're really who they say they are. They've had a couple success stories on the show, actually, which is pretty crazy to think about, but they've had a couple people actually be who they said they were. For the most part, though, they come to find out that the people are not who they say they are. Again, all of this show's on Hulu if you want to check it out. If you've not seen it, I'd watch an episode. Some of the stuff can be pretty weird and pretty powerful. It just warns you of the dangers of online dating. Make sure you know who you're talking to before you fall for them, before you start arranging to get married and stuff. Just double check. Make sure you know who you're talking to. We're going to move right along. Number 6. Number 6 is Pimp My Ride, which aired from 2004 to 2007. Now, reports now are that this show was like kind of fake and that Most of the cars that were on here, they didn't fix any of the transmission or engine or driving problems on them, so most of the cars ended up breaking down. But basically, it took rundown vehicles, it gave people, and they pimped them out with all these cool accessories. But again, it came out that they would sometimes take out functioning things that they needed in these cars for this stuff they put in, and a lot of these cars would not be legally to drive. So looking back on it, the show didn't really help anybody, because if there was like mechanical issues, they wouldn't fix it. And most of the time, these people would be without their cars for months. They made it look like it was only a couple of days. It would be months sometimes for these guys to get their cars back. So not a really good show. It was a good show, but it's in my top 6, which I don't know why. It was fun. Exhibit, is cool. It was a fun show, but, if you look at it now, it's like, man, they didn't really help these people at all. But back then, it was cool to see these exotic, cool cars that they put in like fucking PlayStations and Xboxes and TVs and sound systems and all this stuff, and lights and all that shit. It was pretty cool. We're going with the longest running show in MTV history. Number 5 is The Real World, which aired its first season in 1992, and it is still currently on the air. They're having a new season. They just finished their last season up not that long ago. I was obsessed with this show. The Real World was my show when I was like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like, I don't know why. But The Real World was one of the coolest shows I thought on TV. It was all about, it takes usually 6, 7, 8 people, put them in a house together in some other city, and it just follows their adventures of what they do. There's always crazy characters on this show. Crazy adventures. They always go out drinking, partying, sex, drugs, fighting, whatever you name it to happen on this show. There's been arrests, there's been fights, there's been hookups, there's been all kinds of stuff. It's a reality show. Sometimes it's, with all reality shows, sometimes it is scripted, but that's TV now, is reality scripted. So Real World was cool. It was a fun show to watch back in the day. I don't really watch any of it now. I kind of grew out of the Real World phase, but it's still one of my top 5 favorite shows. We're moving on. Number 4, which aired from 2000 to 2011. This is MTV Cribs, the show that basically took you inside the homes of your favorite celebrities. Why this show was so popular, I don't understand why people want to watch other people's houses. I don't get it. I don't know why it's popular, but it was. It was one of the most popular shows they had. It would be a half-hour episode, and you get like maybe 3 houses in an episode. Sometimes the Mariah Carey had a whole half hour to herself. But it would take you inside the homes of these celebrities. They'd show you their cars, their garages, their insane car houses. Some of the houses were unbelievable, and it just made you kind of like, wow, wish I could get that. This show was cool. Cribs. Again, why it was so popular, I don't know why people like seeing other people's stuff, but they do. So Cribs, number 4. Number 3 is Celebrity Deathmatch, which aired from 1990 to 2002, and then they brought it back for one season, 06 to 07. If you don't know what Celebrity Deathmatch is, look this up on YouTube or somewhere. Celebrity Deathmatch was a claymation type show. It was like 3D clay. It took your celebrities, put them in the arena, and they fought to the death. Hilarity. It was one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. Celebrity Deathmatch was a funny show. I highly recommend it for anyone that has never seen it. You need to check out Celebrity Deathmatch. Celebrity Deathmatch was awesome. You would have the feuds that were really popular in the year. They'd put them on there. It was funny, and they'd settle feuds on there. It was just hilarity. You have to check it. If you've not seen Celebrity Deathmatch, check it out on YouTube. I'm sure there's videos. I'm sure MTV.com or somewhere. Find Celebrity Deathmatch. Check it out. If you've never seen it, you'll love it. Number 2, we're going with Beavis and Butthead, which aired from 1993 to 1997, and then they brought it back for a season in 2011. I don't know if I actually watched this live ever. I don't remember ever actually watching it when it aired, but I know my friend used to have them all on DVD and video. Sorry about that. I had to pause the video real quick. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead. I don't remember ever watching it on TV at the time. But I do remember going to my friend's house and watching it a lot. It was his favorite show. We used to crack up at that show. And I know they made 2 movies based on it. Beavis and Butthead was like American culture in the late 90s. And even in the early 2000s, it was still like loved and beloved. So yeah, Beavis and Butthead number 2. Number 1 is probably the show of a generation. It is TRL, Total Request Live, which aired from 1998 to 2008. It was the show when you were a kid in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was the show. You get off school, first thing on TV, TRL, the countdown of the top 10 videos of the week. But it wasn't just videos, they had celebrities, musicians, artists, actors, comedians all come in, promote their stuff. It was a show for them to connect with the younger audience, and TRL was like the generational show. That was our generation's show. My generation, TRL was like where it was at. You got to see your top celebrities and their favorite music videos, and you got to vote, which was really cool. That it was the first show that really was interactive with the fans and let the fans actually vote what they wanted to win. I'm pretty sure it was like one of the first ones to do that. TRL was the show of a generation, and I miss it sometimes. TRL's really cool. So there you go, guys. That's gonna do it for this episode of Top 13. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe to Sabry Entertainment. I know I'm not very consistent with my videos, and I apologize. I'm trying to get better with it. But if you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below what your favorite MTV show is and other top 13 list ideas. Again, you know to follow me on Twitter. Hit us up on our brand new Facebook page. Follow me on Instagram, whatever, all that jazz. Woo! I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out!